Hello YouTube, this is Mayan J, and today the purpose of this video is to show you a review video of the ZOPO ZP998. I got this phone from eBay and I bought it bricked, as I mentioned on the unboxing video, and I'm actually very happy to announce that I was able to flash the ROM and it's working like a charm. I really like this device. It's right now it's one of my favorites, especially the screen. This phone runs 2 GB of RAM, it has 16 GB of internal memory, it has a 1080p screen display as you guys can see on viewing angles. It has beautiful colors. Actually, it's very similar to the iPhone. You know, even though I'm not an iPhone fan and I don't want you guys mistaken for that, but I think the iPhone has two great things, and one of them is the display is very nice with vivid colors, and it also has a great camera. So I think this phone actually looks very similar to it screen wise. And I also like this UI that after I flashed the ROM it came with. It has a kick as the iOS for the iPhone, but at the same time it has the freedom of Android. So I think it's great, and I think it looks beautiful all the way around. Just to go around the device, on the side here we had the volume rockers up and down. At the very bottom we had the charging port together with the microphone. On the right side we have the power button, and we have a dedicated camera button right here. And then on the very top you have the 3.5mm headphone jack, and this is the loudspeaker microphone. On the back we have a 14 megapixel camera, we have the LED flash, you see the ZOPO logo here, and then at the bottom, I don't know if you guys can notice this, but it's kind of hidden, but this is actually a loudspeaker and it's pretty loud. And inside, this phone supports dual SIM, dual standby. It is a WCDMA 850 and 2100. So if you're using AT&T in the USA, it will support 3G, and it also supports TF cards. Now the battery is 2400 milliamps, so even though it is a 2400 milliamp, I think it supports pretty well. You know, I've been using this device the whole day and it actually did, you know, quite amazing. I thought the battery was going to be an issue as it is 2400 milliamps. I think that the Chinese were able to customize the ROM so that it saves battery. Now this phone also supports NFC, and I'm going to be testing that later on in this video. And I'm also going to test the front facing camera, which is a 5 megapixel front facing camera. Here we see the ear speaker, and then at the bottom we had the menu button, home button, and back button. It has a 5.5 multi-touch screen. It is of course capacitive touch screen, and what I like about it also is that when the screen is off it matches perfectly well with the remaining of the bezel, so it makes it look just like one piece. Alright, so now getting to the operating system, this phone runs the Android 4.2.2. Right now I have it currently rooted, and I'm going to show you guys how to root this device because I know a lot of people have been having issues. Now it's not as simple as it has been for other devices. One of the first thing I'm going to test here is the Bluetooth. Here I have my Beats by Dr. Dre, and we're going to go ahead and turn it on. Alright, so we're going to set it on Bluetooth mode. And now you're gonna go to the phone, and what I did was I went directly into the settings. This is the Bluetooth. Right here you go to settings and you go to Bluetooth, and the device is actually right here where it says Beats Pill. So you tap on it and we're gonna connect to it. I'm gonna increase the volume and we're gonna play some ringtones once it pairs. Alright guys, so it has paired already, as you guys can see right here. So now let's go back here and let's go ahead and connect. Let's go ahead and put some ringtones. We're gonna go to General and Voice Call Ringtone, and let's see if it works. Alright guys, and it is working very well, and here you can see also that the loudspeaker in the back is pretty good. You know, it has great details and it's quite loud as well. Alright, so that's it for the Bluetooth test, and now we're going to go ahead and test the camera. Now the camera, I do believe that it is definitely a 14 megapixel camera. Now I don't know if it is because of the software. I wish that it had a little bit more focus, but just watch this footage and let me know what you think. Guys, so here we have the camera test on the ZOPO ZP998, and from what you can tell, it has a great camera. It is definitely a 14 megapixel camera, and of course I'm also going to test the front facing camera. just so that you guys see that it is an actual 5 megapixel camera. Here we have the front facing camera, and as you can see, the quality of it is also very nice. I like the the fact that even though it's a 5 megapixel camera, it looks like a little bit higher in resolution than what it is. Alright, and as you saw from that footage, you can see and tell that the device definitely has a 5 megapixel front facing camera, which I think is actually amazing. And it also has a great LED flash, especially when shooting pictures at nighttime. So another thing I'm also going to show you here is the Antutu test. It did pretty well. It got a score, I don't know if you guys can see this, of 26,750. And that definitely shows us that, yes, this phone definitely is a octa-core with the MTK 6592. And here we have the device's information. We have here ZOPO ZP998, Android 4.2.2. It has the MTK 6592. It is a 1080p screen. The camera is 14.2 megapixels and all that good information. So far I can say this phone performs very well, and I actually like the overall design of it. I mean, it's not that much bigger than my LG G2, as you guys can see. The thing with the LG G2 is that the screen covers pretty much, goes all the way around without barely any bezel, but they're pretty much about the same. This is just slightly bigger. This one has a 5.2 inch screen and this one has a 5.5, but overall it's pretty good. And this phone does very well on gaming, and I'm gonna play a few games just to show you around here. This is one of my favorites. We know that with the MTK 6592 octa-core, this device is going to be able to play, any 3D game out there. And as I mentioned, the battery does pretty well, with gaming as well. I used this phone the whole day. I tested the GPS, the cameras, playing games, emails, whatnot, and it did quite well. I'm very excited for that. And I'm also on a separate video. I'm going to show you guys how to root the device, and also how to flash the ROM in case you brick your device, which that was the case on this phone, and I was able to get it fixed, so I was very happy for that. Let me see if I can increase the volume. Alright, so you guys do get the idea. I'm also going to play another game here. Let's go ahead and try Beach Buggy. Performance is going to be very nice. I'm also going to go ahead and weight the device just so that you see and have an idea how many grams it is. It is not the lightest device out there, and it's also not the heaviest either. So here we can see that it is about 170 grams. So it is, a quite heavy device, but it feels actually very solid. Another thing I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to measure the thickness of it so that you also have an idea on how big this phone is. But it actually feels very comfortable. I don't think that it is too big, and I don't think it's too small. Here we see that it is about 8.2 millimeters thin, and the screen, we're gonna go ahead and set it up to inches here, and let's see, there we go. So there we have it in inches, and it's about 5.5, but of course we're gonna go ahead and confirm that just to make sure that in fact it is. So let's go ahead and put this down. And let's set this up for 5.5, and here we see that in fact it is 5.5, as you guys can see right here. Alright, this phone also supports air gestures, which is great, and it actually works very sensitive. It is, it works quite well. I mean, it's not among my favorite things to use. I'm really not a fan of that, but at least it's there. And I believe you can also answer and decline phone calls using the air gestures. You can also navigate through your pictures. This is usually good. Let's say you're eating and you don't want to touch your device and you're getting an important phone call. That's definitely great to use it, but to be honest with you, I am not really into it. But again, it is great to have that feature. Another thing I'm going to show you now is the GPS test. This phone has a great GPS, and you're going to see that on the next footage now. This is the GPS test on the ZOPO ZP998. As you guys can see, it is locking the signal very fast, and it's actually going as I'm driving. As you can see here at the little pyramid on the screen, and the signal has locked very fast, and there's actually no modifications that need to be done, except that it works much better if you have, let's say, 3G on the phone or some sort of internet. It'll work much faster, but overall, it's a great GPS, and I'm also going to show you the test from inside the house. So there you saw the GPS test, and as you can see, it locks the signal very fast. And as a matter of fact, as I mentioned on the video, I'm going to go ahead and do the GPS test from inside the house. Just to make it fair, I'm also going to disconnect from the Wi-Fi, just so that you guys see that even without Wi-Fi, it does connect a signal, it does get a signal very fast. I mean, sometimes, especially from inside the house, it takes a minute or two, but overall, it's pretty good. As you guys can see, it already locked the signal. And of course, when you're outside, it gets much better. So that's definitely great as well. And also, this phone supports NFC, and we're gonna go ahead and test that with my LG G2. I took a picture not too long ago of this device, the ZOPO, so I'm gonna go ahead and transfer it to my ZOPO ZP998, just so that you guys see how well it works. So we're gonna go ahead and transfer this picture. So basically what you do is you touch the picture after touching the phone with each other. And now, here it says incoming beam, meaning that it has paired. So we're going to wait until it's received. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and open it. As you can see, it says beam complete. So we're going to open it and see if the picture transferred. And as you guys can see, it did transfer. And it is the exact same picture that I have on my other phone. So now we see that the phone has NFC and it actually works, so I was very glad to see that as well. Now this phone, other than it doesn't support LTE here in the USA with T-Mobile nor AT&T, it does get great reception, as you guys can see right here on the top. Alright, and here I have open speedtest.net. You're going to go ahead and begin the test. And as you guys can see, it is doing very well, and I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi from what you can see here at the top. Right now it's getting 9. And again, I'm using Straight Talk with AT&T. The upload speed is usually about 1 megabit per second, so it still is not, the worst either. And we're almost done with this now. Okay, and this is the result that I got. Overall, this phone is pretty nice. It operates pretty well. I'm also going to show you, as I mentioned before, how to root the device and how to flash the ROM. And I might be able to also show you how to install the USB drivers, which I had some issues with. Before I forget, this phone also supports USB on the go. So if you have one of these, you can connect either, let's say, a mouse, or you can connect an external memory or something, and then it will work on this device. So let's say you're doing a PDF file and you need to put it on your computer, you can use this as an option. So that's also great to have. And now the only thing that I don't like about this phone is the price. I got this for $229, but I think that the price is still a little bit too high. If you buy it brand new, it's about $359. Now, even though it is a great device, but it doesn't yet support LTE. So if it was an LTE phone, I would say that yes, definitely this phone is 100% recommended. But so far we know that it doesn't, so that's the only downer. But other than that, this phone is pretty good, including the battery. It has many great features that you just cannot ignore. That's it for this video, guys. Please let me know if you have any questions. Please subscribe for more, comment below, and have a good one.